NFL playoff predictions. Okay, so for wild card, the seventh seed, I have the LA Chargers. It was close between the Chargers and the Colts, but I think the Colts have a slightly tougher schedule than the Chargers, and I have the Chargers eventually stealing a seventh seed. I like how their offense has been playing. Eckler is an underrated back, and Herbert is very good. Their defense may concern it, and may be the reason they don't make the playoffs. But I think Chargers right now have a pretty strong case for the playoffs. Number 60, I have the New England Patriots. They currently lead the AFC East right now, but it's going to be very tight between them and the Bills currently. Between them and the Bills currently, they look better than the Bills, but I think the Bills can bounce back, and it's going to be very close. And they have two games against the Bills coming up, and those will be the deciding factors. I think both the Bills and Patriots will make the playoffs, but it depends on those two games. Even if they split, I see Buffalo having a slightly easier, still very similar schedules. That's why the Patriots are the number 6 seed. Then at number 5, the Bengals. Bengals have a ton of divisional games coming up. A couple games against the Browns, games against the Steelers and Ravens. So divisional games are hard to gauge. So I'm not sure. It, even if they split, even if they split against their divisional games, I still think they have a good chance to make the wild card. Maybe not as a fifth seed, but I think their defense is average, and Joe Burrow plus Joe Mixon, they're a great duo. And their receivers with Jamar Chase is great so far. As long as their line can keep Burrow up, I think they have a good chance for the playoffs. And it's all about those divisional games, which I'm not sure how they're going to turn out. Before I have the Ravens. Similar to the Bengals, they have a ton of divisional games. They're super injured, so they may end up losing the division lead, but they currently have like a game lead over the Bengals. They play the Bengals later in the year. And it's those divisional games similar to the Bengals that will be the deciding factor for them. But Lamar Jackson coming back, I think is a huge boost for them. I think they'll squeak out games against divisional rivals, against some other teams that they don't know as well, may be in trouble, but against divisional rivals, I'm confident in them winning. Then number 3, I have the Buffalo Bills. They're currently a wild card spot, but their schedule is more favorable, slightly more than the Patriots. And like I said, for the Patriots, those two games against the Patriots, definitely game changer between the division winners spot and home field advantage or a wild card. Now the Kansas City Chiefs, they also have a ton of divisional games. I think they have games against Broncos, Raiders, and Chargers coming up. But Chiefs, they usually do well against their divisional foes, which makes me confident that they will go up to the number 2 seed, and their defense has been playing much better. And against divisional rivals, I'm not too worried about their offense. Number 1, I have the Tennessee Titans. They did just lose to the Texans, but they have a game lead. They have like a game lead over the rest of the teams, over the number 2 seed, and I think and they can still win against good teams, and I think that will be beneficial for them later on in the schedule. And I still have the Titans at first. I don't see them slipping because I don't believe the Patriots will continue to win. I think they might lose a few, but you never know. And on the NFC side, for number 7 seed, I have the San Francisco 49ers. It was really tight between them and the Vikings in my predictions. I believe they ended up with the same record. It's just this game on this weekend, week 12, I believe, they play each other, and I predict that the 49ers will win, and that will give them the edge over Minnesota, and that will get them to the wild card. Currently, they're still a bit of a mystery. They're definitely great run game, but their defense is above average. I'm just hoping Garoppolo will be able to come through for them. Number 6, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. I really like them. Their schedule is not the easiest, but they found ways to win. Their run game has been great so far, and Jalen Hurts with the play action has been has been very good for them. And they've won 3 straights now, or 3 out of 4, I can't remember. And I think they can build on that momentum. Hopefully, their defense can hold. If there's one thing keeping them out, it has to be their defense. Number 5, I have the Rams. Rams currently have a 2-game lead over the number 6 seed, and the rest of the schedule isn't that hard. But I don't see them toppling the Cardinals, who have like a game and a half lead over the Rams. And they do play the Cardinals later that year, so they may have a chance to get the divisional title, but I don't see it. Before I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They beat the Giants. They've fallen off a bit in the last couple of weeks. losing 2 of 3, but but they're still a good team, and there's nobody else in that division that's really challenging them. Saints are falling off a cliff, and Panthers and Falcons just aren't there yet. Number 3, I have the Packers. And the Packers, they lost the Vikings just now, but their schedule isn't hard. Going, their schedule isn't hard later on, and they can still win a ton of games. And between the first, second, and 3 seed, I think it's only going to be a 1 game difference between first, second, and third. So I have the Packers at third. And then number 2, I have the Dallas Cowboys. They have easier schedule than the Packers, but they just lost the Chiefs. And on Thursday night, I don't remember who they play, but their schedule is definitely more favorable than the Cowboys. Like I said, first, second, and third seed going to be very tight, and I think it's just some record like better NFC percentage is just going to get them higher seed than the Packers. Not really difference, not big difference. Number 1, I have the Arizona Cardinals. Hopefully, Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins will make them continue to win once they come back, but they currently have a good lead over the rest of the teams, and they're more consistent than the other team, more consistent than Green Bay and Dallas, and I think that consistency will get them to the number 1 seed. Their schedule not hard and not that bad, but definitely some trap games out there.